Hey guys, what's up? It is ItsAnnaLouise and Mr. Leo here. How are you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is going to be one that I can go ahead and probably already tell you it's not going to be super edited, and that's because I don't know that I'll be able to handle rewatching the footage to edit it over because of the fact of like what we're talking about today. But you know, today's video is going to be about mental health, so trigger warning there. But I do like to talk about my experiences with mental health and my journey that I'm going through with trying to get better and working through things, etc., in the hopes that it will help somebody, because I feel like if I'm going through something, then why not share my journey, and hopefully that, you know, this can help others, because I know it helps me when I hear about other people's like journey and what they do and what they've went through and what they found that helps. So if you're interested in hearing about mental health and hearing me talk about anti-depression medications, etc., stuff like that, make sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And let's go ahead and just hop right on in. So the reason why I'm like talking about this today, and this not like any other type of video, is because I've had it so rough lately. Terrible, to be completely honest. Worse than I have in probably 2 years. And it started before Christmas. I don't like the holidays. I'm not a holiday person, and that really messed with me a lot. I talked about this a lot too on Instagram and stuff and social media, opening up, getting off of my antidepressant medication that I've been on for a few years called Zoloft. It is a very popular one that a lot of people are on, and I've been on it for a few years, and I just didn't think it did anything for me at all. Still struggling a whole lot, and what I was wanting to do is get off of it and try a different medication. So around November is when I started to get off of it, and I was going to try a different one. And if you keep up with me on Instagram as well, which if you don't and you want to hear all insider information, my Instagram is its_AnnaLouise. But anyway, had really bad side effects coming off of it. The medicine that I was going to try after that made me sick to my stomach. It's called Buspar. So then I had to just stop taking that, and I was like, you know what, since obviously Zoloft didn't help me at all, I'm going to stay off of it and not try a different one until I get completely done with my traveling and like with stuff where I'm going to have to go places where if I'm really sick and I cannot function, it's not going to hinder me, if that makes sense. So because I didn't think it did anything, you know, I was off of it. However, I started to get really bad off of my depression, and then I realized, okay, well, maybe Zoloft did do a little something, and just because I said it did a little something doesn't mean that it did a lot. So that sucks, and I've been really reaping the consequences since then. Reached out to my doctor, and I did get put back on it. I'm only on the starter dose again though, because it's something I gotta work my way up with. That's one thing to note about antidepressant medications. They're not just something that you can just take and get off of. They're very serious medications, and side effects, you know, depending on who you are and how you metabolize things, can really mess with you, and for me they do. And they're a type of medicine that you have to like go up gradually on, and you have to wean yourself off of. You can't just stop them cold turkey, and that's something to note, and that's for everybody, not just me. So anyway, I'm not even back up to what I was, but I am still struggling every day. I do see my therapist once a week, and I'm so thankful for that. We are doing a type of therapy that we just started 3 weeks ago, and it's something that in studies has proven to be very helpful, and I have talked and like researched about it and talked to even other therapists on Twitter who I know are for it, and it's called, and I always get the acronym or like the letters mixed up for what it's called, but it's like EMDR or EDMR, eye movement. I think it's EMDR, but it's basically rapid eye movement. It's a type of therapy, and that's what we're working on now, which is really exciting, because I do have faith in it hopefully helping and working. And my therapist recommended that I go to a psychiatrist, which I've been to one before, to help me like to find a good medication. And this is the whole reason I'm making the video, because I had the appointment today and it was terrible. So she recommended that I go to a psychiatrist instead of just for my primary care to get the medication, because these people go to school for this. They are trained to listen to your problems and know exactly what's going on. They're not a therapist or psychologist, so they're not there to help you with your issues, like where you talk, and it's not like a therapy thing. They're there to prescribe you medicine. So I go, you know, it's time for the appointment. She was like, you know, they would know better than primary care because they can help you. And primary care is fine too, so don't think I'm saying it's not, but I'm just saying she thought it would be a good idea. So I made the appointment and I was looking forward to it because I thought, okay, I'm gonna go in here, hopefully this woman's gonna be really nice, and she's gonna ask me, because you go in for a psych evaluation is what it's called, because they're supposed to ask you like what you deal with the most, what you've been diagnosed with, etc. So I go in to the place, and as soon as I walk in, my mother went with me, and the vibes were bad, you guys. So the place that I went to, it looked like it was a place out of a horror film, or like horror film, a 1950s like sterile old building that was like that off creamy orangey color from head to toe, that was like falling apart with mold and old furniture that was like ratty. Basically it looked like something that you would see like an asylum back in an old like scary movie. Basically is what it freaking looked like in there. It was just bad, and you could get the bad vibes as soon as you walked in. And then of course this was my first time seeing this doctor, and whenever they called me back, I walk in there with the assistant lady, and I expect to see a doctor, and instead I see a TV screen with the doctor on the TV screen, and it was over Zoom. And I was just like really caught off guard with that. I actually love telehealth and doing telehealth at home, but I just didn't expect to walk into that, so it caught me off guard. I'm not saying that I was mad at it, but it did feel like nerve-wracking, because that assistant lady just sat in there on the computer the whole time when the doctor talked to me, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. It just felt weird having it in there on a TV screen, and having another person that didn't have anything to do with like necessarily having to hear what my problems were just in there, to be the person to hand me papers or whatever. It was just really freaking weird. And the woman basically was just really short and kind of like to the point. I expressed that I was nervous and had like anxiety, and it was hard for me to talk, and I stumbled over my words, and she was not sympathetic or empathetic, whatever the word is, at all. Like she was not that, you know, when you walk into a place for mental health, you would think that it would be just as nice and is like a good like a homey, really good environment with the sweetest people, and that was just not the case. And she didn't even really ask me deep into depression issues, like what my real true issues were, other than saying, oh, is it depression? She just focused on medications and stuff from doctors years ago that I couldn't even remember. And it was really short to the point. Whenever I mentioned I'm so sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, I'm just like really nervous, etc., no sympathy / empathy whatsoever. And I felt just like an idiot, pretty much. I didn't feel comfortable or heard. And then she started out of nowhere just like badgering me about my period and birth control and stuff like that. And I can understand that people need to know about your medications and if they go together or not, but I explained that I was not trying to get pregnant at the moment, and so I felt at that point she had no business asking if I used protection or birth control or condoms, because she did. And I was like, why the hell do you need to know that? You know? It felt very invasive, especially with my other health issues. I just didn't feel like answering it and having to be like, blah, 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 blah. But like, I can understand if it was for medication, but it was the specific questions, which I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty details about like exactly what she asked, but I'm like, why do you need to know this? You know? So it was just all really weird. She prescribed me the new medication without really explaining what category of drug it was, anything really deep into it. And I was so nervous at that point. I was just like going with everything. And in the back of my head though, I was like, I'm failing at this. I'm gonna be so mad at myself when I walk out because I'm not asking questions, but I'm too nervous. If that makes sense. Like, that's how I was in my head. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then I leave and I talk over it with my mother because I get medical advice from my mother, who's a nurse, and I also get the advice of my husband and what he thinks, because especially with all the health issues I have, I don't like to just make the decisions myself. And with all the stuff that I haven't been able to figure out and all the help that I have not been able to get, I do like for other people to help me do the research and know what to do. So we had some questions about the meds after I left. Mind you, you know how you have to like sign consent forms and stuff like that, and usually they'll go over it or they'll read it or whatever. The doctor woman was talking to me on the screen, and the assistant lady walks over while she's talking to me and I'm responding. I'm gonna act like this is a clipboard. Puts the clipboard right in front of my face, taps on the sign thing with the pen for me to sign it. Not going over what the consent form says, anything about the form or anything. She just taps on me to sign it. And you know, even sometimes they'll be like, this is a consent form, you can read it if you want, but if you don't care, like, go ahead and sign it. It wasn't that at all. And because I was so nervous and frustrated and just like listening to the lady on the screen, I'm like and then when we called to ask the questions, we did have one question about pregnancy for when I do have a baby, because I don't want to wait a long time to have children, although I'm not trying right now. We did ask a question and she got so smart about it, and she was like, you literally signed on that consent form, like that we went over, that you were not going to get pregnant. And I was just thinking to myself, first of all, no one went over that consent form with me, and second of all, why are you badgering me about that? Like, I can't so you're like saying that I'm going to sign that I'm not going to get pregnant? Like, what? I don't know, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me, and she was really rude about it. And yeah, I mean, needless to say, I'm not going to be going there anymore. That was my experience, and I'll just like stop it there. Yes, I know like there's a lot of medications you can't be on when you're pregnant. That was not the scenario, the situation at all, to what she was saying on the phone when I said she was rude about the consent form. But basically, like, the gist of me talking about this in this video today is that a lot of people, and it may be glamorized or seemed as it is easy to go get a medication for anxiety and you take it, or depression and you take it, and it's going to help and it's going to be better. But really and truly, there's so many factors that go into that. You could have a bad doctor, a bad place to go. Like I said, the moment I walked in there, bad vibes all around. Even my mom noticed it. The medicine that you try cannot work for you. I tried this one for years, and I've tried other ones too that have not worked. It's always not a surefire thing, and some medicines mesh well with you and others don't. And I'm just telling you this from my experience, because if you are thinking about getting on medication, or you want to, or you want to go talk about it, not every single medicine is a surefire thing to help, and you may have to try around. And if you don't think your doctor knows what they're talking about, or if they're rude, or they don't seem sympathetic or empathetic, don't stay with them. Definitely try to find somebody else, because not every doctor is for you, and not every situation. It's kind of like when people have therapists and they're like, have to shop around for therapists because not everyone's for them. It's the same with any type of doctor. And I'm in that position right now. I'm having a hard time in life. YouTube videos, I'm having a hard time even thinking about what to film. I'm just really depressed right now, to be honest. I'm having a really hard time, and I really hope and pray to find a good medication soon. I don't really know what I'm gonna do right now in this situation. It sucks that it happened this way, but I just want you to know that, like, it's definitely not as simple as sometimes I feel like it may be seemed as. However, I do believe that, you know, if you want to get on medication to help, because it can be a great thing, do it. This is not me telling you to like not do it. That's not the point of this video. It's just, I don't want you to get your hopes up and like go in and think that this one medication is gonna be perfect for you, because they're all different. And yeah, but I'm just really struggling right now, so that's why I was like, okay, for this video maybe I'll just sit and talk about mental health. I'm just having it bad right now, and I'm just not doing good. at all. So if you pray, say a prayer for me, send me good vibes, whatever. I'm just having it hard in all aspects of my life. It's hard to even film at this point. It's hard to do anything really at this point. I'm having tons of brain fog and just a really hard time overall. So if you are feeling that way and you're depressed right now, or you're going through something really hard, and or you have like anxiety disorder or anything, just know that you're not alone. And even if your issues are different than mine, there's someone else out there with your issues. And I want to say that because I know a lot of times it's hard to know that there are other people out there with your problems, but there really truly are. I wish more things were advocated for and talked about. It would be so much better, because then maybe we all could feel a little less alone. But yeah, I think that's basically the gist of this video. I hope it helps somebody. And yeah, I want to say thank you to my patrons as always. Jeremy, Manny Davis, Mercy, Janae, Casey, Mel, Vicky, Vanessa. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being a patron. And other than that, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for better content than this, or more content like this if you want me to talk more about it. I don't know. Anyway, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by hitting my face right up there, and you can watch another video by clicking right over there. It would mean the world to me if you would do so, and I hope you have a great day or night or whenever you may be watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.